Yeah, here we go again. We are back all together. It is Sunday and look, it's a rather nice day outside my studio window. Are you ready to go? We are all here together to enjoy that wonderful English language. Yes, this is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be England. Oh, there you are. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. Here we go again. Hasn't the week gone quickly? I don't know about you, but I think last week went by like a flash. As quick as a flash. Something that goes by quickly. Something that seems to pass by almost instantaneously. I think last week went by very quickly. I don't know why. I have a strange feeling in my left knee that last week went by very quickly. Is there something about your partner or maybe a relative that annoys you? Is there something that you've always wanted to tell someone that you are annoyed by? Is there a thing, a habit, maybe something a person does in your life? Maybe your partner, maybe your mother or father or sister or brother, maybe a neighbour has an annoying habit, something that really annoys you. I think today we can get this thing off our chests. Is that a good idea? So if there is something that really annoys you about a person that you know, it might be the person you share your life with. For the time being, of course, maybe after telling me what it is, you may no longer be in that relationship, you see. So if you want to tell me, if you want to say, Mr. Duncan, this is the thing that really annoys me about my partner or the person that you know. I see I'm already getting complaints about no captions. I can't do anything about this. This is out of my control. I'm ever so sorry. YouTube, I don't know why, YouTube has changed everything. Everything has been altered, changed, rearranged, and dare I say, not for the better. I'm just checking now. No, we have no captions. I don't know why. I'm very sorry about this, but YouTube have changed the whole platform. So when you want to live stream now on YouTube, you have to do something very different. You have to do something more complicated than before. I'm ever so sorry about that, but I love live captions. I think live captions are ever so nice, but unfortunately we can't have them. I don't know why. YouTube have made changes, so if you want to complain to YouTube. Maybe you can start some sort of campaign. Bring back the live captions. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Live captions, please. YouTube, if you are listening now, can we please have our lovely live captions back at the bottom of the screen? So it's not very good, really. Is there something about another person whom you know? Is there something annoying about them? This is something I'm going to ask, a general question first of all. Now, as you know, there is someone who I know quite well, and they have some very annoying habits. Some very annoying habits that they do quite often. One of them is complain. Do you know someone in your life who is always complaining about things, whatever it is, however good the day is going, they will always find something to complain about. Do you know someone like that? Hello to the live chat. Oh, nice to see you all here today. Yes, we have made it to the end of another week. A new week is just around the corner. Yes, it's Sunday. We have made it to Sunday once more. I'm very glad to see you here today. Coming up, we have the sentence game. Ooh, back by popular demand. We have the sentence game once more. And also today we are talking about image. Things that are attractive. Things that are beautiful. Things that catch your eye. So we are looking at something positive today. Things that are beautiful, maybe a person, maybe a thing, an object, perhaps. Maybe something you've heard. Maybe a person has said something lovely and it has stuck in your head. Something lovely. Also, you may have noticed, we have a special guest on today's live stream. We have a female teacher. I've been asked, Mr. Duncan, you never have any females on your show. So today we have our special guest. I'm not sure if I should do this. Mr. Steve, when I told Mr. Steve this morning that I was doing this, all he did was roll his eyes. He disagreed with me like this. He rolled his eyes. So today we have a new teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our new teacher. Welcome to... Oh dear. Should I really be doing this? Should I? Say hello to Miss Spelling.
Hey guys. This is Miss Spelling, your new English teacher. Are you ready to be taught a lesson? Don't be naughty in my classroom or I will have to punish you.
You heard what she said? Don't be naughty in the classroom or else she will punish you. Miss Spelling, our new English teacher. And I'm sure today she will be popping up lots and lots of times. Here we go again. Wow, nice to see so many people here on the live chat. Very nice to see you here today. And it's quite bright outside if you notice behind me. So the thing you can see behind me is actually the garden at the moment. Right now, outside, that is the view behind me at the moment. And Mr. Steve has been very busy in the garden this morning. I'm sure he will complain about all of the work he's had to do this morning. He's been very busy in the garden. So what about you? Do you have a person who has an annoying habit? Oh, we have something here. Samar says, yes, my brother always complains about the food that my mother cooks for us. Can I just say something? My mother used to be a very good cook. She was before she went into hospital. So she's not very well at the moment. But my mother used to cook some of the most amazing meals ever. Ever. The most amazing meals ever. Alberto says, what really annoys me are negative and insulting racist comments on Facebook from people I know. It's really annoying and also disappointing. Thank you, Alberto. Yes, people can sometimes let you down with their thoughts or ideas, their opinions. So nowadays, I think we are living in very strange times because people are more outspoken than they used to be. And one of the reasons why this is because you can now be anonymous. You can actually go onto the internet and type whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I suppose it would be fair to say that it takes a lot of courage to actually go onto the internet and reveal yourself like this. So one of the things a lot of people say about this is, Mr. Duncan, you are very brave putting yourself out there and allowing people to see you for real. So people know me, they know who I am, and you can see me right now on the camera. But the internet does allow many people to stay anonymous. They can type, they can say whatever they want, and sometimes those things can be cruel or unkind, even prejudiced, of course. So it does happen. People sometimes can be very rude, very upsetting. They say things. Sometimes, of course, they do it on purpose. They do it because they want to upset people. So from my point of view, this is something I've said before. If you don't want to get too much attention, you have to be very careful where you expose yourself, where you show yourself. And I suppose being in the public eye is a big step to take. So revealing yourself sometimes can put your character on show, because there are people out there who might not like what you do. So the internet is a place where people can often express their views. Sometimes there are people who might express negative views for various reasons. Richard, hello Richard. My sister often calls by telephone and she is complaining every time. Mr. Steve, by the way, he will be with us soon. Mr. Steve will be with us in a few moments, telling us what he's been doing in the garden this morning. I think Steve has become a little bit obsessed, to be honest. I think so. With his gardening, because he's doing it all the time. Complaining on the phone. Yes, Mr. Steve is a person who likes to complain and moan, especially when he's talking with his mum. So when Steve and his mother are on the phone together, all they do is complain. They love complaining about things. That's all they do when they're talking on the phone. I'm sure I will get into lots of trouble for saying that, but it's true. Hello to the live chat. I suppose I should say hello to... who was first? Oh, hello, Vitas. Vitas, well done. You are first on today's live chat. Oh, fancy pants. Well done. Yes. We will be hearing more from Miss Spelling, our new lady teacher, who has decided to drop by today as a special guest. Mr. Duncan says, oh, hello, Irene. Hello, also, we have Lehigh Huang here today, watching in Vietnam. Can I say hello to Vietnam? I know over the past few days you've had a lot of bad weather. In fact, in that part of the world, Japan as well, has been affected by some very terrible weather. Heavy rain, storms, strong winds, all sorts of things have been going on in that part of the world. So can I say hello to Vietnam? Also, can I say hello to Japan as well? The weather has been very rough around there at the moment. Hello also Sidra. Nice to see you here, Sidra, as well. Palmyra is here as well. Amina. Hello, Amina. I don't recognise your name. Amina Amona. Interesting. Interesting name. I like that. Hello, Christina. Also, we have Mosen. We have Maliha. Beatrice is here. Where are the moderators today? I can only see one moderator at the moment. Oh, Pedro. Pedro is here. I didn't see you. You were hiding in the corner. Pedro Belmont is here today, saying hello, as happy as he can. We also have, we have Barong here as well. By the way, we did restart the English Addict last week. Some people missed last week's live stream because they thought I was still off. But last week we did start doing the live streams again. So this is the second live stream of October. And of course, October is a busy month because I will be celebrating my 14 years on YouTube. Can you believe it? 14 years I've been here. Hello also to, we have Pachu here today. Florence is here. Has anyone seen Luis Mendez? I haven't seen Luis today. Where are you, Luis? We are waiting to say hello to you. Mr. Bruno. Hello, Mr. Bruno. I haven't seen you for a very long time either on the live chat. Nice to see you as well. Pachu wants to talk about beauty, things that are attractive. We are going to look at some words and phrases connected to beauty, things that you find beautiful. It can be anything. I will be asking Steve this question as well in a few moments. So, what is attractive to you? Something beautiful, something nice, maybe a thing that always makes you feel happy when you see it. It can be anything. Maybe a person. Sometimes a person. You might meet someone that you haven't seen for a long time, especially during these times that we are living in right now. Meeting someone you haven't seen for a while can be an extra special moment of time. I think so. Hello, Louisa. Louisa. Mr. Duncan, what happened on Wednesday and Friday? For those who are wondering, I will put my little message up on the screen just to remind everyone that I am with you once a week during October. Let me just put this on the screen so you can see it. So I will be with you once a week, every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. I will leave this on the screen underneath so you can see we are back. English Addict live every Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, if you want to make a donation to allow my work to carry on, I do it all for free. Everything I do for you for free. Can you believe it? Mr. Steve will be with us in a few moments. We are looking at attractiveness, beauty, things that catch your eye. Ooh, hello. I haven't seen you here before. Do you come here often? Or maybe something that annoys you about your partner or maybe a family member. We'll be looking at that as well. And we have the sentence game today. Can you believe it? We also have the sentence game coming up as well. Today we have random words or random letters. So today we are not looking at one particular letter. We are having random letters on today's sentence game. If you don't know what that is, you will find out all about it a little bit later on. Here is an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. And I think this is quite nice. This is quite a nice excerpt to show. If you like learning English, then you have come to the right place because I have lots of English lessons here on my YouTube channel. And here is one of them right now. This is an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. And then after this, we have Mr. Steve joining us live in the studio. Oh, there you are. Welcome to another full English lesson coming to you from the birthplace of Winnie the Pooh, Professor Snape, Judi Dench, Hugh Laurie, and of course the English language, which is why we are all here together now. So without any more dawdling or time wasting, let's get on with today's full English lesson right now. Have you ever been stuck for words? Have you ever been in a situation where you could not think what to say? There are many ways of describing this occurrence. We can say that you are tongue-tied. You have been left speechless. You are stuck for words. You cannot find the words to express yourself. Your mind has gone blank. There are many reasons why you might find yourself unable to speak. Perhaps you are in a state of shock or surprise. An unexpected event can leave you speechless. The surprise can be a nice thing, or it can be something not so nice, such as bad news. If you are giving a speech to a group of people, you might find that your brain suddenly stops working. You become nervous and cannot remember what to say. I'm ever so sorry, my mind has gone blank. After a sudden surprise, you might only be able to say, I'm speechless. You have become tongue-tied and stuck for words. If you try to remember the thing you wanted to mention, you might say, it's on the tip of my tongue. A continuing debate in English usage is the question of when to use who and when to use whom. According to formal grammar, who forms the subjective case and so should be used in subject position in a sentence, as in, who decided this? The form whom, on the other hand, forms the objective case and so should be used in object position in a sentence, as in, whom do you think we should support? To whom do you wish to speak? Although there are some speakers who still use who and whom according to the rules of formal grammar as stated here, there are many more who rarely use whom at all. Its use has retreated steadily and is now largely restricted to formal contexts. The normal practice in modern English is to use who instead of whom, and, where applicable, to put the preposition at the end of the sentence. Who do you wish to speak to? Who do you think we should support? Such uses today are broadly accepted in standard English. They seek him here, they seek him there. Mr. Steve seems to be everywhere. I hope you enjoyed that. That was one of my full English lessons, and you can see my full English lessons on my YouTube channel. Yes, they are all there for you to look at, and, well, I hope you will look at them and hopefully enjoy them as well.
Are we on?
We are on.
You didn't give me any warning, Mr. Duncan. How naughty.
The warning was you standing next to me and me clenching my buttocks.
Mr. Duncan, you've been very naughty. You're trying to catch me without...
Come over a bit more.
Yeah, OK, Mr. Duncan. Always trying to boss me around. Hello, everyone. Hello.
What you have to remember is I have to do everything. I'm the producer, director, cameraman, sound recordist. so I have to do all the technical things as well. You don't realise how hard this is. You should try doing this one day. It's very difficult. It's very hard to do.
How many times do you tell us, Mr. Duncan? You're always moaning and complaining that you have to do it all. Well, anyway. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Would you like the clap?
Well, no. I would prefer to stay disease-free. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
No, I meant applause, you silly man. Just for you, Steve.
That's a Queen Mother wave.
A Queen Mother wave?
Queen Mother wave. She's...
Didn't you tell me that you were watching Shirley Bassey last night? A very old recording which was filmed in the same year that you were born.
Yeah, don't say the year. Don't say the year.
I wasn't going to say the year. But I was surprised anyway because I didn't think they had television then. I thought it was only radio.
Yes. Well, yes, it popped up. It must have realised, you know what it's like. It's clever, isn't it? The internet. It knows what you watch.
The internet
and, suggests things to you. So it must know I like Shirley Bassey. So it must have known when I was born because suddenly it said Royal Variety Performance 1961.
Okay.
So, blimey, it seems so long ago. And yet that was when I was born. It seemed like a different era. It was a different era.
Well, I don't think you were there at the show, were you?
I know, but you know, it was very strange. But there was Shirley Bassey looking very young and prim and proper.
Yes. You know, for a moment I thought you were going to say that you actually were born at that performance whilst Shirley Bassey was singing. I wonder what song you could sing by Shirley Bassey as a person is being born.
Don't know. Catherine says, "What a clap disease." The clap, that's a slang word to mean that you've got a sexually transmitted disease.
A disease that is transmitted not by your mouth, not by your nose.
Well, it could be. The clap, I think it means gonorrhea.
Yes. Well, in olden terms, in the army, I believe that actually came from people who were in the army. And of course, they would be stationed all around the world in different places, and they would have lots of hanky-panky with strangers. But one of the downsides of doing that is you can catch some yucky, sticky...
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be in the army. It can be anywhere.
No, I'm saying that's where it came from.
Does it?
The clap.
Okay.
Yes.
So people weren't clapping.
Yes.
If you clap, it means you're applauding a performance.
It was, yes, okay.
But I don't know why they call it the clap.
I think it's just a slang term that is less embarrassing.
Have you got the clap?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Better go and visit an STD clinic.
I caught the clap from a toilet seat in Hyde Park.
Impossible.
Yeah.
A prostitute, maybe.
Okay.
But, we
okay.
hear.
Ooh.
I mean, you know, we don't know obviously from personal experience, but yes, of course, sexually transmitted diseases. Now, there's an interesting subject. Used to be mostly young people would catch that, but now, these days, Mr. Duncan, lots of people, elderly people going on holiday, they're catching STDs, sexually transmitted diseases.
You know, this programme today has taken a very strange turn. Just from me offering Steve some applause. Very interesting, but there you go.
There you go, yes. So, yes, the rise in STDs, the sort of growth area, so to speak, is in sort of middle-aged and elderly people because... You know, they're going on these certain types of holidays.
Certain types of holidays? What does that mean?
Well, where you meet people.
Okay, then. Well,
couldn't that sleep with them?
Couldn't that be anywhere?
But normally, you know,
what about
elderly people would be careful.
Elderly?
All I'm saying is
how old are we talking?
Well, middle-aged upwards.
90?
A lot older than that. Well, I don't know about 90. All I know is the statistics. I just happen to know this. because it was on the television, that the rise in sexually transmitted diseases is quite a lot in the elderly, because they're going on these holidays where they're meeting, going on to cruise ships and all sorts of things like that. So how embarrassing to be, say, 70.
So I've got to get this straight, because we're rushing through this without giving details.
I don't know all the details.
So you're saying that elderly people, because we have to get this right, over a certain age, are going on cruises on ships.
Well, I don't know if it's happening on ships. All I know is, if you look at the number of cases occurring of STDs, it's going up in the elderly and middle-aged.
Yes,
because they're getting divorced, and they're going off on holiday, meeting new people, and that's always a risk.
So,
no one's commenting on that. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I'm surprised that anyone's still here, to be honest. Everyone's... I think everyone's...
Thank you, Sophie. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, OK, then just talk all over me. Everyone at the moment, they're not looking at the screen. You know what they're doing?
What's that?
They're looking down. They're all going like this. Having a little look.
Not sure about that.
Just to make sure.
Mary, I'm not wearing the hat that you like, because we're not outside.
No, you've noticed.
We're indoors, so I thought I'd keep it off, because it's very hot in here. It's like a furnace in here.
It's hot.
I've just eaten a banana, by the way, because I was hungry.
OK, then these are very interesting moments of time taking place. Hey, we're talking about beauty today.
Oh, yes. Have you been talking about me?
No. That's the only thing we haven't mentioned, although we did mention you because I was talking about annoying things that people do.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about you, even though you are sometimes quite annoying. You do moan a lot. I mentioned earlier that when you're on the phone talking to your mother, you're moaning about
and
things.
My work colleagues.
Yes, you are a bit of a moaner. But I was also...
Yes.
Ash?
Yes, we are. But as you get older, I think you become more of a moaner. I certainly do.
Anne Schumann says, you guys are doing this. It's just a waste of time. Please tell us something that is worthy.
We can't please everyone.
No,
sorry.
We certainly can't.
So sorry that we're annoying you, but we can't please everybody.
Guess what? We're probably going to annoy you a lot more, to be honest. We do get very annoying. If there's one thing that people say about Mr. Steve and myself, they say we are very annoying.
Very annoying.
Very
yes.
annoying.
We annoy everybody. So what are we talking about today, Mr. Duncan?
I've just mentioned. I've just literally said what we're talking about.
I wasn't listening.
Clearly. Attraction. Things that are beautiful and attractive. Also, we have the sentence game today. Very popular, the sentence game.
It is.
And we have our new special guest, by the way, Steve. Miss Spelling is
Who?
on. Well, I've just said Miss Spelling, that's her name. She's our new teacher.
New teacher? We've got a new teacher, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, she wants to say hello.
I'm shocked.
So let Miss Spelling say hello. Here she comes. Are you ready? Here is Miss Spelling. If you missed her earlier, here she is now.
Hey guys, this is Miss Spelling, your new English teacher. Are you ready to be taught a lesson? Don't be naughty in my classroom or I will have to punish you.
Don't be naughty in my classroom or I will have to punish you. I get the feeling Miss Spelling she's a very strict teacher.
She's quite a character.
She is.
You're not trying to model her from anybody else on the internet, are you, by any chance?
Well, for example, who? I don't know. No
Other
one.
English teachers that use their sexuality to gain viewers?
No, it's nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Okay.
This is a genuine thing that I'm introducing. I want to be fair and equal. So we're having more genders. Next week, another gender. I don't know. It might be a man. It might be a hunky man. We need at least one here, Steve.
I don't know what you mean. I'm a true hunk, Mr. Duncan. Look at those muscles. Look at those muscles. I've been working hard today, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I told you, didn't I? Didn't I say to you that Mr. Steve was going to start moaning about having to work in the garden? So what were you doing this morning? You were cleaning, and this is, I don't know about you, but I think what Steve is doing at the moment might be a slight waste of time, but he's cleaning all of the stone walls in the garden. He's cleaning them.
Well,
It's
they look
almost
dirty.
it's almost like an obsession.
It's an obsession, but hopefully now the winter's coming on. Well, I worked so hard repointing all the stones in the wall because all the grouting was coming out.
Yes, we know.
So I spent all summer doing that, which was a long, painstaking job. But of course, that's left it looking a bit dirty, and there's moss and black dirt and lichen all over the stone. So I thought, well, yesterday I scrubbed it with a brush, but that wasn't enough. So I had to get the power washer out.
You know what I think?
Power washer.
I think you are starting to have far too much time on your hands.
Well,
Where-
I might have a lot more.
cleaning the walls in the garden has become your big project. But anyway, that's what Steve has been doing, making a lot of noise, upsetting the neighbours, I'm sure, with his noisy machinery.
Well, strangely enough, after I finished, I noticed the neighbour had got out his garden vacuum cleaner. So I heard like a sort of a blowing noise.
Oh, I see. Well, that's
It sounded like there was a gale coming, but of course he'd got his.
that's not a vacuum cleaner, is it then?
No, but it's a bit. Oh yes, I think it's a vacuum. No, it's a blower.
A blower.
I think it can suck and blow at the same time. I think these devices now, you can reverse them so they can suck up the leaves and they
Okay.
can blow as well.
Suck and blow, eh?
Yes, that's always a good skill to have.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh, talking of which, here's Miss Spelling again. She wants to tell us something. Steve.
My last boyfriend was a big disappointment. He only knew one language. He used to talk rubbish all the time and look at other girls.
Miss Spelling is not very happy,
She's
is
very
she?
attractive.
She's not very happy though. She's happy. She's not happy with her boyfriend because apparently he keeps looking at other girls. If you want my advice, Miss Spelling, I would ditch him. I would get rid of him, dump him.
See,
and find-
it's already working. Sergio, misspelling is really attractive. I love to misspell from now on.
Yes.
Yes. What, you are hoping to be punished, are you, by misspelling?
I think so. I think Sergio might be getting very hot under the collar. I think so. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's the idea, of course. And Lewis says, Mr. Steve, hello, Lewis. It's almost time to put your garden to bed. Thank you for remembering that phrase. It's
Yes.
the phrase that Mr. Duncan isn't keen on. But yes, I'm putting my garden to bed. Just means tidying everything up before winter to make sure that when spring comes, everything's raring to go.
It is.
So cut down all the dead leaves, all the dead branches, cut the grass for the last time. Just make everything neat and tidy so that when spring comes,
When spring comes,
everything will look lovely and attractive.
I can't wait until spring. I'm not looking forward to winter because I have a feeling that things are going to be a little bit grim. I mean, as if they could be any more grim in 2020, but I think things might be getting a little worse, over the next few weeks as we come out of 2020.
Pedro, yes, that's the phrase that I was looking for. Sexual tourism,
Oh, okay.
where people go on holiday,
Yeah.
not for sightseeing.
Okay.
Well, they're not going to look at the local geography.
Well, they might be. They might be finding their way around somewhere.
They're going on. There are holidays that you can go on,
checking out the hot.
apparently,
They are checking out the hot spots.
where you're just going on holiday basically to sleep with as many people as you can find.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And that, of course, is a risk
Imagine.
in terms of STDs.
Imagine being like that. Imagine being the sort of person that just goes on holiday.
Elderly men, quite commonly from rich countries, going to poorer countries to explore women or exploit.
This is
Thailand, India, Burma. That is very true.
yeah. This is not what you're thinking. This sounds like you're saying this.
No, this is what Pedro said.
Okay,
Well, no,
then.
this is a known thing. But of course, women now are starting to do the same thing, going to Africa and places like that. So,
Okay.
Yes, I'm very busy.
Can you
very
please
busy.
send your complaints about the generalisation to Mr. Steve? He said those things.
Yes. Ah, right. Yes.
There are no captions because I don't know why YouTube have decided. They've decided to take the captions away. I don't know why.
They're naughty because that's very helpful, isn't it, to your viewers, that they can in real time see what you're saying in their own language.
It is true.
It's very annoying that they have taken that away.
I don't know why we can't have live captions, but of course later on there will be captions available. There will be captions available.
Sophie's other half snores like thunder, or better half. Better half, Sophie. That's usually a man says that about his lady.
Well, you can say it either way.
I think you can, but usually, yes, I suppose you can, but usually a man would say that to make his partner feel better. Oh, meet my better half.
Yes.
But usually it's a man saying it to a woman. But I suppose it can be the other way round.
I think the man might refer to his girlfriend as the ball and chain, or the
joke.
or the missus as well. You see.
Right, yes. Can I ask you about the term dovetailed?
Dovetailed.
Dovetailed.
If something is dovetailed, it means the shape of something, a thing that starts from a central point and then goes outwards, almost like a fan. So imagine the shape of a fan. Then also you can have dovetail. So it's almost like that. When you are building furniture, quite often you will have a joint on a piece of furniture called a dovetail, and it allows pieces of wood to be connected together securely, and also it gives the piece of furniture a lot of strength as well. Dovetail, something that starts from a central point and then goes outwards, almost like a fan.
Yes, Sergio, garden vacuum cleaner. Well, I haven't got one because I think it's a ludicrous idea. I mean, imagine that. You can tell we're in a rich Western country, can't you?
Can you?
Yes, because only in a rich Western country would people go out to the DIY store and buy a garden vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Because that really does show that somebody's got, a lot of disposable income.
Yes.
If they can spend money on a garden vacuum cleaner rather than just a broom.
It's a blower.
Yes, but some of them suck as well.
Okay.
Because I've seen them, and you have a bag over you and you suck up the leaves.
So you can suck up your leaves, or you can blow them around. So you have a choice. That's interesting.
Only in the West, I would say, but probably in other countries. But you're only going to buy one of those if you're a bit bored and you're thinking, oh, I've got lots of spare cash. What could I buy? I know, a garden vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Probably being disingenuous to anyone who's got one watching. But I would say probably not many. Anyone got a garden vacuum cleaner? Please tell us.
It's too soon anyway. Don't start cleaning the leaves up in your garden because autumn has only just started. It's pointless. If you actually want to clean up the leaves, you should wait for at least another 3 or 4 weeks until most of the leaves have fallen off the trees.
Yes, I wait until, look at that tree there. All the leaves are gone. Now I shall sweep the leaves up.
Yes.
Because otherwise you'll be out there every day.
To be honest with you, I love to see the leaves. I have no problem with leaves. I think all of the beautiful leaves falling from the trees in autumn is the most amazing sight.
Well, our neighbour's got a giant tree,
okay.
A silver birch tree, and the leaves, because of the way the wind blows, usually from the west, we get huge quantities of these leaves in our back garden.
Okay.
So I have to sweep them all up. But that should be annoying, which it is. But, of course, leaves are very good to have in your soil. So I collect them up and I put them all over the soil so that the worms come up and drag it all down. And that's helping to give me healthy soil for the plants to grow.
Okay.
So, yes, I recycle them.
That's another one of Mr. Steve's gardening tips, and you get it for free.
I feel as though we haven't done anything useful yet.
I have a new obsession, by the way.
Is it toffee biscuits?
No, it's not toffee biscuits. However, However, there has been a big debate taking place last week about Jaffa cakes.
Your favourite.
Whether Jaffa cakes are actually a biscuit or a cake. Now, a lot of people believe that Jaffa cakes are actually biscuits.
The clue's in the name,
But
I would say.
But some people say that they are cakes. So it depends, really. I suppose it's one of those things. But last week I reacquainted myself with someone I used to listen to and admired many years ago, an artist, a singer, a very unusual person who came to prominence in the late 1970s.
Right.
Have you ever heard of this man? His name, Klaus Nomi.
No, never heard of him.
Have you ever heard of Klaus Nomi? He is one of the most talented people that has ever lived, and he has the most amazing, or he had the most amazing singing voice. Has anyone out there ever heard of Klaus Nomi? German, but he went to the United States, became a very big local celebrity, never quite became mainstream. He never really broke out commercially because sadly he died before he had a chance to do that. Klaus Nomi, there are lots of videos on YouTube featuring this particular guy, and he has the most amazing voice, a very unusual singing voice. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to ruin it, so we won't talk any more about that because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But Klaus Nomi.
He looks like an eccentric person.
And as you know, Steve, I love eccentric people. People who are a little bit strange, unusual, maybe even weird. I've always been attracted to eccentric people. I don't know why, because they dance to their own beat. They don't let other people put them off being who they are. So I think it's a very good thing. I'm trying to see the live chat.
Bobby says, asks me to say the abbreviated word for mother or mummy, which is mum.
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 Hello, Mum. How
Mum.
are you? Have you had a nice day? No, I'm not interested.
We don't often address our mum as mother. It's very unusual, isn't it?
If you say mother, it's very. It's almost like she'd done something that annoyed you. If you said mother, she would know that you'd annoyed her. Just as if your mother, for example, my name is Stephen, my full name.
Okay.
But sometimes your mother might shorten that to Steve.
Steve.
But if she says Stephen, that means say the whole name. That means you've done something wrong. I often have this with customers of mine, particularly ladies, females.
Lady females.
And they often say to me, so for example, their name might be Catherine,
Okay.
for example. And I say, hello, Catherine, or whatever the name is. But quite often they will say, oh, don't call me Catherine, call me Kath. If you call me Catherine, it's like when my mother used to tell me off.
Yes. So when your mother shouts at you or punishes you or scolds you, she won't use your shortened name. She will say, Stephen,
Yes.
you've left your dirty underwear on the stairs again. How many times have I told you to pick your dirty underwear up, Stephen? So your mum used to say that quite a lot to you, didn't she?
No, I was a very good child, very, very well behaved.
We are looking at attractiveness today. I thought that it would be nice
Back to me.
I'm not sure about that. But we are looking at things that might be described as attractive. We are talking about things that are, dare I say, beautiful, beauty and attraction, Steve.
Yes.
So when we think of beauty and attraction, what are we actually describing?
Something that is pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
It's usually, you can't actually say why, you just know that it is. It's like a person.
So when we describe the beauty of something, we are describing the attributes. I love that word. Attributes. Attributes. The attribute of something is its appearance, or maybe the feeling that it projects to another person or
Yes.
another individual. It's quite strange. Everything that exists in this world has the ability to create beauty in some way. Everything is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful in their own special way.
Well, there's that famous phrase, isn't there, Mr. Duncan?
That we might be looking at later on.
Okay. Right, that's fine. Yes, so yes, the attributes. So if you say someone's beautiful, you say, well, what are their attributes? They might have lovely hair. There might be several things. It's the things that make up that beauty. It's very difficult to define. I'm sure somebody has defined it somewhere to say what makes a human being find something attractive. There are certain triggers that go on in the brain. So if you see, apparently, if your eyes are, there's a certain distance that your eyes are apart. If they're too close or too far away, that's not attractive. But somewhere there's a distance that someone's measured.
Yes.
And that is beautiful. And then, of course, it's skin and cheekbones and lips and hair and everything.
All of these things that you need.
They're the attributes, aren't they?
If you have no lips or no nose, you might not be a human being, first of all. But apparently it's all about symmetry. Did you know that, Steve?
Symmetry.
Apparently a beautiful face, the more symmetrical a face actually is, the more beautiful it becomes. Did you know that? So if you look at models, so in fashion photography, one of the things you will notice quite often in photography, especially glamour photography, fashion, you will notice that the face of the model is always symmetrical. When we say symmetrical, we mean it is even on both sides. It is almost like each side of the face has been mirrored, and it is perfectly equal on both sides.
Your brain recognises this in some way.
So even if you are not particularly good looking, apparently if you have a symmetry in your face, symmetrical, apparently it is more attractive anyway. It's interesting that, isn't it?
Symmetry. That's it. It's like a mirror image.
It's all about the symmetry, baby.
And Schumann Pandy says, I need, or somebody needs, presumably me, hair weaving treatment.
You do. You need some hair weaving there.
Yes, I could do with some.
Yes.
But obviously that wasn't to be. My genetic makeup, just like my father, meant that when I reached my early 20s, a few years ago, that my hair would start to fall out, and it has. So
Yes.
nothing I can do about that.
Did your father really warn you?
No.
Oh, I see. I thought that's what you just said. Because I can say, do you remember that time that I sat all of your family down and told them that all of your nephews,
Yes.
I told them all that they are doomed, that they will all go bald probably in their 30s.
Yes, because my assistant's husband is bald.
Yes.
My father was bald, I was bald, so they've got no chance.
Baldness. If you have baldness on both sides of the family, and you are a male, and you have light-coloured or maybe red hair, you will go bald.
Well, I had brown hair.
Yes. You will go bald.
Beautiful.
By the time you are about 30, maybe 31.
Thick
So,
brown hair.
That's it.
My mother used to say that when I went to the barbers, hairdressers, I'd have my hair cut, that my hair was so thick that they couldn't even get the comb through it.
Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Is that what they used to say?
I remember he used to be yanking on my hair with the comb, trying to cut it. It was so thick, and it all fell out. What a tragedy! But I'm still gorgeous even without the hair.
What's
It's
interesting
amazing.
is when we first met, we used to both go to the hairdressers on a Saturday.
Hairdressers?
Do you remember? We did.
We did, I know.
It's true. We used to actually, in the afternoon, on every Saturday, we're going back many years, by the way, about 28 years ago, we used to both go to the hairdresser. I can't remember the last time I had my hair cut. I think it's a very long time. It might have been in China. I actually had my hair cut once when I was in China.
Yes.
Klaus Nomi, yes, very good. Klaus Nomi was a big influence to David Bowie, and a little bit vice versa as well. So during the time when David Bowie or David Bowie was experimenting with all of his images, Klaus Nomi was very popular and very well known on the club scene, and apparently they were influencing each other. In fact, I believe there was an episode of Saturday Night Live where David Bowie performed and Klaus Nomi was behind him, performing as well at the same time.
A long time ago.
Very long time ago. We're talking, I think it must have been about 1980, 81.
Somebody's asked mother and murder. What's the difference?
The difference between mother...
Mother and murder, we shouldn't laugh, no. Your mother obviously is, and by the way, Lewis, yes, my name is spelt with a PH.
Lewis?
No, Lewis has just asked, isn't my name spelt with a PH, not a V?
Is that Lewis Mendez?
Yes.
Oh, Lewis Mendez is... Lewis Mendez.
You've been here all the time.
I didn't see Lewis Mendez.
Yes.
Hello to Lewis Mendez.
Yes, so I've forgotten who asked now, but yes, your mother is obviously your mother, the person that you were born from.
Okay, your mother.
And a murder is obviously when you kill somebody.
Yes. Sometimes you might want to murder your mother when she's being really annoying. If she's nagging at you like this, she's going...
Is it true Asians find Europeans ugly? Oh, right. I don't know.
I would say no.
I don't think it's...
Based on my own situation when I was in China, I used to get chatted up all the time.
Really?
Yes. I was once standing in the bank in China waiting to be served, and this girl came up to me and she says, "Oh, hello. Oh, can I have your phone number?" Straight away, like that.
Very bold.
I know, without any hesitation. And I thought, well, not really, no. No, I don't think so.
No.
For various reasons.
Well, yes, I think there's something different. It's the people are often attracted to somebody very different to themselves.
Yes.
It's a bit exciting. Somebody from a foreign country, somebody with a different look.
Exotic.
An exotic look. Even somebody of a different colour. Quite often people find people of a different race very attractive.
Yes.
Yeah. Beauty. Oh, I won't say the phrase because you're going to...
Yeah, no.
Yes, so there we go. So yes, mother and murder. Mother, murder. Mother, you were born from, murder, kill. But not the same, not both of them.
That's it. Well, murder is something that that might also be something that's difficult, a difficult situation. Maybe you are doing something and it's very hard work. And maybe you are, well, maybe Mr. Steve, when you were working in the garden, you were doing lots of heavy work. You might have said, oh, taking care of that garden, it's murder.
Yes.
So we are not saying that it is murder. We are saying that it's very difficult, something that's extreme.
Unpleasant, very unpleasant, like murder. So if you're doing an unpleasant task, God, that's murder, that is.
Yes.
You know, horrible, unpleasant.
Sitting through this live stream, some people might say that this is murder. It's murder, listening to you two.
And Schumann Pandy says, ugliness depends on your character. Well, yes, that is very true. So it doesn't have to be physical attractiveness that makes somebody beautiful.
Yeah.
It can be their character. You like their character. They might be kind. They might be just have a lovely character.
That's what I rely on, you see. That's what I've got through life, not with this. This hasn't helped me at all. Trust me, I've never, ever got anything in life based on this. It's always been my lovely personality and my winning smile. Lewis
says, what a lovely phrase. Mother gives life, murder takes life.
Oh, that's a good one. Well
Very
done.
good.
I
Very
like that
good.
one. That's my favourite today. That gets my thumbs up.
Yes.
That's a big thumbs up from Mr. Duncan.
Yes, because if you think about it, people that we regard as really physically attractive,
Okay.
like models, film stars, people like that, they could be physically attractive, but they might have horrible characters. And quite often somebody who is very beautiful and attractive, who gets lots of attention, it goes to their head and they become nasty people because they're relying on their looks all the time to
Yes.
get through life. And so they think, I can say what I like to people. It doesn't matter because I'm beautiful. I'll always get attention.
I'm not going to lie, Steve. I am a little bit jealous of people who are good looking and beautiful. I am slightly jealous because I know that there is a slight advantage that you have if you are attractive in life.
Definitely.
You can definitely get slightly more than if you look like this. No one's giving anything to this. Trust me.
When you were younger, though,
It is true. I was a little bit sexy for a short time, but it didn't last very long. I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks. In 1992, I was considered good looking, but then it disappeared. It went away as quickly as it came.
Palmyra makes a little comment there, nothing to do with what we're talking about. I read a ridiculous English saying rare as hen's teeth. I laughed all day.
Yeah, I like that one.
Do hen have teeth or not? No.
They don't. No, that's the whole point.
That's why it's funny, because hens don't have teeth. They have beaks, obviously, but they don't have teeth. So it must be very rare because it must be very rare,
Yeah.
whatever it is you're talking about.
So it's actually used as a sort of idiom to say that something that is very rare or almost never seen or heard. You might also say Mr. Steve's laughter, you see. It's as rare as Mr. Steve's laughter because it hardly ever happens.
That's not true. Apart from when I'm on the live stream with you. Yes. In Egypt, people judge you for your shape, says Samar Sadek.
Oh,
Well, yes, I mean, in different countries, different attributes
okay.
are more attractive than in other cultures.
Maybe you are thin and tall like me. So I'm very skinny. When I was a kid, I hated being thin. So I was not only thin, I was also very tall as well. So I didn't like that. But of course, nowadays, more people are becoming, what's the word?
Larger?
They're becoming more round in their appearance. More and more people are putting on weight and becoming, the shape is slowly changing. So you see more and more people now have this sort of shape, which of course many people find attractive as
do.
well. I'm not
Certain
saying
cultures?
Yeah, certain cultures.
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate?
No, because I don't want to be accused of racism.
No.
But
Yeah.
different cultures around the world find attractiveness. There are different attributes, aren't there, that are assigned to somebody who's attractive. In some countries, if you are fulsome, which means that you're
Fulsome?
If you say you're fulsome, it means that you've got a little bit of weight. You know, you've got a robust figure.
Yeah.
That's attractive, but in other countries, it might not be attractive.
I believe in this
Might
country.
want-
In this country, we say stocky.
Well, but for a woman, traditionally, for a woman to be attractive to a man, they have to have this hourglass figure, don't
Yes,
they?
I'm not sure.
Hourglass figure.
Maybe in the
I'll
1930s.
try and do it. No, hourglass figure
Yeah.
like that. Everybody knows what that means. So an hourglass is shaped like that with
Yes.
sand at the top.
So the top part is the lady's
I'll draw it.
upper torso. You'll have to make it larger than that.
Oh, right.
People
okay.
aren't watching on microscopes. It's making it the size of an ant.
This is a very poor drawing.
Please activate your electron microscopes now.
That's you can tell I'm not very good at drawing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Can't even see it.
No.
All right, never mind. An hourglass. It's a device used for measuring time. It's got sand in the top, and you turn it over, and the sand falls through.
It looks like
at a controlled rate.
It looks like broken glasses.
But that's it. If you're shaped like that, it's an hourglass figure. Breasts, hips, slim waist is quite often the traditional thing that will make a man excited.
What about the buttocks? Should the buttocks be big or small? Because some people like...
What, on a woman or a man?
Some people like big buttocks.
They do, yes. If that attribute is attractive to you, then yes. Well, it's just as well, you see, because if there were only certain types of people that you found attractive, nobody would ever get married and have children.
Yes.
So there always seems to be, more or less, somebody for everybody, doesn't there? Everybody seems to pair up and get a husband or a wife, so that even though they might not be spectacularly attractive, people are still getting together and getting married and falling in love. So there must be, I think there's someone for everyone out there.
I believe this is called settling for less.
No, I'm not sure that it is. I don't think people...
Well, I tried to find someone good looking. I tried my best, so now I just have to. It's like wanting a brand new Mercedes, but then you have to go to the rusty old scrapyard to buy your car instead of the beautiful new Mercedes. You see, it's a bit like that sometimes with your life partner. You realise that you're never going to be driving that Mercedes. You will have to go to the scrapyard and find something that's falling to pieces.
Shapely woman, shapely, that's it. They've got a shape. Men find that attractive, apparently. But yes, but talking of Mercedes, Mr. Duncan, the best way to buy a Mercedes is second-hand.
Okay.
Because they last such a long time. They are renowned for lasting for a very long time. You can buy one 2 or 3 years old. It's lost 2/3 of its value, but it'll still go on for about another 20 years. But that's the best way to buy an expensive car like a Mercedes.
Could you actually convert that into finding a partner? Could you find a second-hand partner, someone who's already had a relationship? Maybe they've had a few miles on the clock, and the engine still runs, everything still works. It might need a little bit of oiling here and there, but it still runs.
Somebody who's already been married. Now, there's some good comments here. Sergio says it's better not to go pear-shaped. Yes, so hourglass is like that. Yes. Pear-shaped is sort of like that. So all the weight's gone down there.
Here we go. Leonardo da Vinci, eat your heart out. Look at that. Look at that. There it is, an hourglass.
Jamila makes a very good point. Jamila says the hourglass figure indicates that the woman is fertile and can bear children. Yes, that is correct. So in the back of a man's mind, he might not be thinking of that, but somewhere in his deep primitive brain, he sees that shape.
This is very...
And that indicates to him that if he was to mate with that woman...
What?
Then they would have healthy, robust children.
Robust?
Yes, because the big hips, sort of nicely, large breasts means that the woman can feed the child, so the child will grow up strong, and the nice hips mean that you can have a big child in there, nice healthy children. It just indicates genetically, evolutionary, there's something's going on in that primitive part of your brain saying yes, because essentially most of us are driven towards their partner because of that massive drive to procreate, to produce children, to have children, to continue the species. So when we're looking for a mate, we're looking for somebody who looks like they could produce really good, healthy, fit children. We don't often know it's going on, but it's going on.
The biggest failure in that area is the British royal family. Have you seen the British royal family? We have possibly the ugliest royal family in the world. Have you seen them? Have you seen William? What's happened to him? I remember when Prince William was about 18 and all the girls used to scream at him like he was one of the Beatles. But now he looks a bit like you, actually. But
just because he's gone bald, you're saying he's ugly.
But he's much younger. He went bald very young. So
I did.
But you're on about having the best of humanity in all of those strong, powerful genes, and everyone in the royal family looks. they're not the best looking people. Look at Prince Harry. Prince Harry is losing his hair now.
Yes, but lots of people find him attractive.
Yes.
I don't think you could say. I think they are generally attractive. I mean, Prince Charles was very attractive. The Queen was very beautiful when she was younger.
She was.
And, you know, as people get older, of course, I think some of the royal family have let themselves go.
Some of them look like they've been, you know, sleeping rough somewhere.
But
I know things are hard at the moment, but, you know, come on, comb your hair at least, even if you've only got a little bit at the sides.
we've done nothing yet, have we? Nothing.
We have. We're looking at beautiful things. So when we say beautiful things, something is attractive. Something is attractive, or perhaps something looks nice. Something that looks nice is attractive. Would you say a nice thing? Something that's nice. You might go shopping and you see some nice shoes.
Yes.
You say, oh, I saw some nice shoes today. I think I will buy them. They were in the sale. And maybe something catches your eye. Oh, I like this one. A good phrase. Something that catches your eye. Ooh, look at that. Ooh,
You sort of pretend you're not looking, certainly
yes,
a person.
Yes, ooh, it catches
And
your
it
eye.
catches your eye, and
Yes.
you give them a little up and down, a once over. A once over. If you give somebody a once over, it means you're looking at all of them from top to bottom.
Okay, I know I'm being unfair.
Giving
I'm being
them the once over.
I'm being unfair, I know, about the royal family, but some of them are a bit, you know, let's face it, they're supposed to be the best genes. Genetically, they're supposed to be like the top of the pile. And yet, you know, I think we look better. I think we would be brilliant in the royal family. I could walk around. Steve looks like a snoot anyway, with his big nose and his profile. So Steve, I think you would be a brilliant member of the royal family, and me, I could be the younger one, the one that, you know, people aren't too sure about.
Monty says, I'm sorry, Prince Charles has never been attractive.
Prince Charles.
Yes, beauty. I nearly said that phrase, but yes, not everybody finds. Well, it's just as well that we don't. There are some people, aren't there?
Yes.
That I think virtually everyone's attracted. We've got virtually everyone is attracted to.
Yes.
We have somebody at work. She's absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Okay.
But when you get into a conversation with her, she said over the years, I think she's about 28 now, she says it actually becomes a burden. She's tall, she's about 5'9", statuesque, I would say.
Statuesque.
She's beautiful. If you looked at her, you would immediately say she's beautiful.
Okay.
But she says it is a burden to her.
Being beautiful is a burden.
Yes, because everywhere she goes, she gets attention from men.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's unwanted attention.
Okay.
So there's always somebody trying to chat her up, or somebody. Yeah, she finds that annoying. She said it's nice when you're young, but as you start to get older, you just become a bit sick of it because you don't want people to be constantly chatting you up. I mean, yeah. So it can be a burden.
Yes.
Something which is you don't like it.
Okay. Talking of beauty, by the way, Miss Spelling, our new teacher, would like to give you another word right now.
Here is another hard sentence for you to say. Sure, I will go and clean the pee stains off the bathroom floor, and then I will fix us some dinner.
That sounds like something her boyfriend might say to her. You know what men are like. Women always complain about men because sometimes we have very unpleasant... Sorry, that's really made me laugh. I forgot I did that. Please go and clean the pee stains off the bathroom floor, because that's what we do, you see. We talked about this the other week. When we go for a wee, men are not very careful with their aim. And so maybe the girlfriend or the woman in the relationship, such as Miss Spelling, might complain to her boyfriend because he keeps leaving pea stains on. See, there you go.
Are you going to replace me with misspelling?
I think misspelling, we will see what happens. If misspelling is popular today, we might have misspelling every week, but she will never replace you. Never.
Should we explain, in case some people don't know, what the word misspelling means,
Well, I think
so that people know what the joke is of the
well,
name?
don't explain the joke. Just let it run on its own. It's like a fine wine. You open the cork and then just let it breathe.
But some people might wonder why her name is misspelling.
Well, her name is misspelling. That's her second name.
I know, but if
Okay.
you misspell something, it means
You never over-explain your jokes.
But that's a joke. Some people might not
This is a joke,
understand the
yes,
joke.
yes.
That's why I'm
Okay,
explaining it.
We'll explain it next week, but let it breathe. Let the joke breathe. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worrying about it. I'm just saying maybe we need to explain
It's a little
that it's a joke.
It's a little joke, you see.
Name is a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a pun.
Yes.
A
Okay.
play on words.
Oh, apparently Marcia says Prince William was very good looking to me as well. I think when he was younger. But my point earlier, Steve, was the genes, you see. Genetically, you would imagine the royal family would have very good genes. Their genetic makeup, so they would be handsome, rugged. They would have lots of hair and be very, very virile. But then we have Prince Charles, who is kind of the opposite of all that. That is one of the things that used to annoy me about when he married Princess Diana. They just looked like opposites. They didn't look as if they belonged together. Is that me? Am I just being cruel? Am I being cruel there? I remember many years ago in the early 1980s when they got together, and I thought that it looked very odd.
There was quite an age difference.
There was. It didn't look right. That's why it didn't work. That's why it didn't work out, you see.
There were other reasons.
And of course, he had his eye on another woman. There was another woman who he liked more, you see. So, anyway, that's just my opinion for what it's worth. So
Lewis says, Saturnino says, that a comment that Lewis made, Putin is small in size. A lot of people thought he was a puppet. Yes, he is. I don't think he's very tall, but he's got a certain rugged attractiveness.
Really?
He's got that classical Russian look. Do you remember that ballerina? What was his name?
The ballerina?
Sort of ballet dancer, rather, the male ballet dancer. Rudolf Nureyev.
A ballerina that looked like...
Rudolf Nureyev. He was beautiful, wasn't he? I think Russian people have got a certain beauty.
Okay.
And he certainly had it. And Putin has as well. He's got a rugged attractiveness, hasn't he?
Yes.
And see people being attracted. But of course, he's got power.
Yes.
And power in itself is attractive.
That helps.
If you've got power
Yes.
or money,
Yes.
that makes you attractive to somebody even if you haven't got the physical looks.
You might notice this, Steve, whenever you see a millionaire and he's about 70, and then you look at his girlfriend or wife, you might notice that there is a slight contrast between them.
Would you prefer, here's a conundrum,
Okay.
something that's difficult to decide what you want to do.
Okay.
Would you marry a very attractive, beautiful poor person or an ugly rich person? If you had the choice,
I thought I had.
which would you go for?
I thought I did have the choice.
An ugly. Would you marry a rich, ugly person or a very attractive, poor person?
Yes.
How would you like to spend your life? With beauty, but no money, or with ugliness, but with lots of money?
You never see any homeless people that are stunningly attractive.
True.
Do you think there might be something there as well? I don't mean to be cruel or harsh there, but it's true, isn't it? But sometimes you will see a person, maybe they're digging the roads, so they're just working in the street, digging a hole in the road, but they're incredibly good looking.
Yes, or somebody collecting your dustbins. Go
And,
on.
and then you think, why is that person not in a magazine, traveling around the world, going to Cannes and all of these, in Monaco? Why aren't they? Why are they digging holes in the street? This person is an absolute god of beauty, and he's there, stripped off with his top off, working away in the midday sun, digging that hole. Yet he's stunningly attractive. And you think, why? Why hasn't someone come up to that guy and said, look, you are the most handsome person we've ever seen. Come on, let's go and take some photographs of you. Oh, well, that doesn't sound right, does it?
Sergio says Putin,
You know what I mean.
Putin is 175 centimetres
Sorry.
tall. So he's not short at all.
Isn't that about that high?
That's millimetres. Centimetres.
Centimetres.
Yes.
Centimetres sounds too small. Whenever people say centimetres, I always just imagine things being very small.
It's quite tall, 175 centimetres. I think that's... I wonder what that is in feet and inches. Yes, it's not far off 2 metres.
Oh, apparently jealousy. Belarusia. Hello, Belarusia. I didn't see you here either. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm sorry about that. Yes, when you marry a beautiful person, yes, there can be jealousy, you see. So quite often, I don't want to generalise, but quite often when a man meets a beautiful girl, maybe the man, he's not very good looking, but the girl is very beautiful, very nice. Maybe she looks a little bit like misspelling. But there might be a little bit of jealousy, you see. He wants to keep that girl close to him. He will become very possessive. That's a good word, isn't it? In relationships, one person might become possessive of the other person because that person is very precious, and maybe a lot of people are looking at them going, oh, hello, I like your partner. Would you like to come with me instead of him? You see?
Yes, that's very true. So would you feel threatened all the time if you had a very attractive partner but you weren't very attractive, that somebody might steal them away from you? There's a good song, actually. I won't sing it, but
please don't.
That actually addresses that theme. Yes. So Samar says if a person is beautiful in soul and shape, I would prefer to choose the poor one. Yes. There is no ugliness with money, and somebody pointed out, obviously, Donald Trump is maybe. You wouldn't think he was attractive, but he's got lots of money, so maybe that makes him attractive as a partner.
Well, the clue, Steve, is in the fact that he's had about 3 or 4 marriages, and they've all. I'm trying to put this in a very delicate way. They all have certain attributes that are very similar, and that's all I'm saying. That's it.
Sergio says 175 centimetres. Thank you, Sergio. Is 5'9" tall.
Wow, that's very precise.
Yes, 5.8. Well, we'll round it up to 5'9". Well, that's actually the average height for a man.
Oh, I see.
In the UK is 5'9".
So President Putin is average height.
Average height for a man. He's not short at all.
He does like riding around on horses.
Not that matters anyway.
With his shirt off.
I think Donald Trump must be gigantic. I mean, it's. Yeah, but anyway.
If I had a choice, if you had the choice between President Putin riding on horseback with no shirt or anything, just his bare chest, or President Trump riding a bicycle naked, which would you rather see?
I think we know the answer to that one.
Which one would it be? Putin or Trump?
Oh, what?
Putin on
any day.
Putin on a horse without his shirt. Donald Trump naked, riding a bicycle with no seat.
Well, why don't you just say why go to that extreme? Why don't you just say Putin on a horse with his top off, or Trump on a horse with his top off?
Maybe I just think that Putin's quite hunk. He is a bit of a hunk, actually. Have you seen photographs of Putin? He's a bit of a. I think he works out. You know,
He does martial arts. He does all
Yes.
sorts of things.
he's
Yes.
a bit of a hunk.
Definitely. So, but then I think Russian people are. They're an attractive race.
Okay then.
Send us a picture, Sergio, and see if you are an exception. Sorry. Oh. But then, yes, I think people from other countries often look attractive because it's exotic, something exotic.
As we say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. A person who is looking at another person for their appearance. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So just because one person finds another person unattractive doesn't mean that they are unattractive to other people. So another person might find them very beautiful and very sexy and handsome, you see?
Yes, I mean, I can't imagine it, but I would imagine there must be some people out there that wouldn't find me attractive. I mean, it must be possible. Can't be many,
No.
but there will be people out there who think, Mr. Steve, he's not for me.
Who thinks Mr. Steve is attractive?
Don't say that, Mr. Duncan.
If you think Mr. Steve is really attractive, put 3 on the live chat. 3. 3 attractive. If you think he's not attractive,
We don't want this, Mr. Duncan.
if you think he's
This
not,
isn't a talent contest.
if you think Mr. Steve is not attractive, I don't want to put any pressure on you. X. 3 attractive. X not attractive.
Jimmy says from Hong Kong, I like your name, Jimmy. Jimmy from Hong Kong. If everybody said that, we'd know where everybody was from.
Yes.
So that's very helpful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Why isn't the word eye in the plural form? So why don't we say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder?
Yes. Well, quite often when you have an eye for something, it means it is your judgment or maybe your perception of something. So we often use eye singular as one
Yes.
eye. So the eye of the beholder, you have an eye for clothing or fashion. It is in the eye of the beholder. So eye just really relates to the vision, the thing that is being seen or the action of seeing. So yes, that's the reason why. Yeah.
Julius Caesar wasn't handsome, but he got Cleopatra. Yes, but I think Cleopatra was after something, wasn't she? She wanted to protect her empire, so she became involved with Julius Caesar.
We are getting quite a few X's. Some X's. So these are the people who think Mr. Steve is not good looking. William Nolan puts X.
block. You've got to block anybody who doesn't think I'm attractive.
Oh, we didn't mention that. If you don't think Steve is attractive, if you put X, we are going to block you as well.
Yes.
Okay. Because Steve is the one who is controlling the machine, not me.
We're
I'm-
joking, of course. We wouldn't block anybody just because they didn't think I was attractive. I mean, wouldn't that be a pathetic thing to do?
It would be
Mr.
very,
Duncan?
very pathetic.
That would mean that I was, in fact, very insecure.
Let's block them all.
That would mean I was very insecure.
Here's the thing that you were trying to say earlier, Steve.
Skin deep?
Yes.
No, I was going to say beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, yes. Oh, the one we just had.
Yes.
Beauty, of course, is only skin deep as well. We often say that people can be beautiful on the inside, although I've seen a lot of TV shows about people having surgery and that they're opening up the person and having a look inside. And I can safely say that there is nothing beautiful inside a person. It's all sticky and gooey, and sometimes things spray out everywhere as well.
Sergio hasn't commented on my attractiveness yet. I wonder why.
No.
Has he gone?
I think the number 3 on his keyboard is actually worn out. So he's been pressing it so often, trying to get his vote to say that you are, of course, very beautiful. I think he's actually broken his number 3.
Confidence is attractive, isn't it? If you are confident in yourself, you can be somebody who wouldn't be defined maybe as physically attractive. You might be very average looking, But if you've got a certain confidence in the way that you carry yourself, the way that you walk, the way that you speak, the way that you look at people, if you have a confident air, that can be attractive to people.
Yes. Well, that's what we said earlier about character. So quite often a person will look at character. If you have a nice character or a bubbly character, you are always happy, maybe positive, a positive person. It can be very attractive to other people, even if your face looks like a dog's arse.
Confident people who know what they're talking about, who can comment on events and are confident in themselves, no matter what they look like. They are often attractive people. If you've got somebody who's very attractive but their character is not right, you might not like them.
We did start a little bit late today, so don't worry about the time. Finally, before we play the sentence game, Steve, here are two interesting words: subjective and objective. So these are words you might hear when a person is talking about a certain subject or a certain thing, or maybe they are expressing their opinion. But they are words that a lot of people misunderstand.
Right.
And actually, when they are saying one thing, they are actually using the opposite. So here we go. Quickly, I think this is quite interesting. Subjective. So when a person is giving their subjective view, it is their personal view. It is based purely on their feelings, that the things that they see around them and the way they interpret them personally is subjective.
So it's open to interpretation is what you're saying.
That's it, yes. So just like what is art? What is art? Some people say, that's not art, that painting, that's not art, that's rubbish. But another person might pay $1 million for the same painting, you see. So art is subjective. It is a personal feeling, a personal opinion. And then we have objective. And this is where sometimes people get confused. Objective is non-personal. So you are expressing something or talking about things, but they are things that are real or true or things that exist, but maybe you are comparing those things with each other. Maybe certain types of things that exist and are real, you are comparing them with other things that are real and exist.
So you're using facts to make a decision or an opinion on something.
That's it, or an argument.
That means you're being objective. So you're using facts, absolute facts, to determine the outcome of a situation. Whereas if you're using your emotions and your feelings, you're being subjective. So not necessarily the truth.
Yes, that's it. So subjective is one that people will often say when they are talking about something that is objective, because they think they are talking about a particular subject. So actually, these words are very misleading as well.
Yes.
To be honest with you, these should be changed around. I think objective and subjective sometimes are actually back to front. They are the wrong way around.
But maybe you could think of it as sub, as in below. Sub means under something. So it's not the truth, whereas an object is that's what it actually is.
Yes.
So that's the truth. The objective interpretation is the truth, the object, what it actually is, as opposed to being subjective, which is underneath, not quite the truth, but it's based on your emotions and your feelings.
And the reason why they get mixed up is because a lot of people would assume that subjective, of course, is a thing, and a thing that people talk about. But of course, people talk about things based on, quite often, their own opinions, which of course are not objective. So it's quite interesting. I always these are two of the most fascinating words in the English language, as far as I'm concerned. I think these are very, very interesting words, because they often, even people who might be described as intellectual, or maybe people who like to talk about certain subjects, sometimes get these mixed up between the subjective and the objective. So it's quite...
Well, if you were trying to assess a politician, for example, and you had a certain political persuasion, say, for example, you were a Republican in America.
Republican on the right.
That's it. And you supported that party very much. But then you have Donald Trump as your president, and somebody asked you their opinion of that person. Would you look at the facts, the actual facts, or would you and then give an honest opinion of what that person is actually like?
Yeah.
Or would you, because you supported the party and him and you wanted him to be in charge, would you maybe manipulate the facts and just point out the good points and use your emotions to so you could say you're not giving an objective opinion there about Mr. Trump, you're being subjective, so you're using, as you say, your emotions. And you can do that for a lot of things.
Of course, the opposite is also true. You could have it the other way round. So you could be on the right, but you accuse the left of having their own agendas. So you don't need me to explain this, because we are living through this very thing right now. It's happening in the world during this time.
Maybe somebody really attractive,
Okay.
beautiful or woman or a very extremely handsome man, charming, was on trial for murder.
Okay, murder again.
We're back to murder. They were on trial for murder, but how objective could you be when looking at that person? You might be really attracted to that person, or you might be really attracted to them. But in that case, your emotions are taking over. And could you be objective in your assessment of that person on trial for murder?
Yes.
Or would their attractiveness make you be subjective?
Yes.
And
Well, actually,
therefore not look at the facts?
and that brings in another thing as well, which is bias as well. So bias means that you do favour something for a particular reason, you see. Talking of beautiful things, before we have the sentence game, because we have about 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes left, so we will be having the sentence game in a moment. Some random letters today. But look at this, Steve. We're talking about beauty. Here is something that I filmed from the house last year. And you can see in the distance the sun is starting to set, but also you can see there is a beautiful rainstorm in the distance. So what you can see there is actually a rainstorm falling many, many miles away from where we live. And that is something I filmed last year. And I suppose also we should say that, sunsets, one of the most beautiful natural occurrences. As far as I'm concerned, maybe you disagree, but I think that sunsets are the most amazing thing. And there you can see now on your screen, Steve, look at that. That is actually a sunset from the house here, taken last year. And you can see the sun is slowly going down in the distance behind some of the Welsh hills. So I think when we talk about beauty, one of the most beautiful natural occurrences has to be the sunset. I think there is nothing nicer than watching the sun go down, and quite often you will drift off into your own world, Steve. You might think, isn't it lovely? Isn't nature, something natural happening around you? It really does make you feel quite tingly.
Yes, nature is beautiful.
And very connected as well. Isn't that lovely? I like that. It's almost time to play the sentence game. Are you ready? Because I think a lot of people are ready to play the sentence game.
I know I am, Mr. Duncan.
Are you ready to play the sentence game? Thank you for your company today, by the way. If you have been watching, we have Miss Spelling coming up soon again. Do you like her? Do you like Miss Spelling? Would you like to see more Miss Spelling next week? Oh, maybe if you are a fan of Miss Spelling. Maybe next week we can have her on the show again. Here we go then, Steve. Are you ready? It's time to play the sentence game. The sentence game is here, everyone. It's time to play the sentence game. Are you ready? Get your finger ready. I want to have your finger nearby to your keyboard. Keyboard, that's what I was going to say. Keyboard. I want to see those fingers ready to click with the answers to today's sentence game. Let's put everything on the screen so we can see. The sentence game today, we have random letters just for a change.
Random
Steve.
letters?
Random. So these have no particular theme, but of course I will show you the letters with each of the games. So don't worry. Belarusia is going. See you later.
A few other people are going as well.
Oh, a lot of people are going.
Well, it's late, isn't it?
I
In
suppose.
other countries. But yes, anyone that's going, I hope to see you all next week.
Here we go then.
Sentence game. So there's no. We're not saying there's a theme with any particular letter as
Nope.
the first letter of the word. So off we go.
Here we go then. Here is the first sentence game right now. And now you will see what I'm doing. You see?
But we have. You've actually said what the letters are.
Yes.
Right.
So you can see the letters, but I'm not giving you any more information besides how many letters are in each missing word. There was no need to something, me, in front of the other something. And we are looking for the letter B here and the letter E over there. B, 8 letters. E, 9 letters.
There is no need to something beginning with B. Me in front of the other something beginning with E. There is no need to.
Negative. This is something negative, a negative word maybe. And it looks as if also by the tone of the sentence, you can see that maybe the person is, I would say, angry or disappointed by something. There was no need to something me in front of the other something. But what? So this is a negative sentence. Maybe a person is being, I don't know, accused of something. So if a person attacks you over doing something wrong, maybe at work, I always think the workplace is a good example because all sorts of things happen, don't they, Steve, at work?
Oh, yes.
All sorts of things. There was no need to something me in front of the other something. Do we have any answers coming up?
Not yet. But of course, there is a delay.
There is about 30 seconds of delay.
When we're speaking to you, you're hearing us 30 seconds in the past.
Yes.
We've already said it.
So this is like a voice from the past. Even if it's only just 30 seconds in the past.
The first word has got 8 letters.
And the second is a word beginning with E. So this is something that is expressing disappointment. Disappointment.
Yes, so we've got,
Hello,
we've got,
Orpha. Orpha CN. Oh, okay, very interesting. Now
I
the
think
first, yes, we've got 1 or 2 here.
Yes.
1 or 2. 1 or 2. I think we might have correct answers coming through. So there are some very busy fingers. I think the fingers today, Steve, are very busy. We've had a very active live chat.
We have. It's been very lively today.
Very lively.
Very lively. I've hardly been able to keep up. We've got a winner.
Oh, do we have
We've
some?
got a winner.
Yes, we have some correct answers coming through.
Person who's always very quick to the draw, so to speak.
I imagine your fingers must have very, very large muscles. Your carpal muscles. Carpal. I love that word, carpal. Do you know what carpals are? Carpals are the bones in your fingers. your carpals. And then the bones here in your hand are metacarpals. Carpals, metacarpals. What about the bones in your feet? Your toes are tarsals. And the bones in your feet are metatarsals. That's what they're called.
Carpals and tarsals.
Carpals. Carpals are in your hand. Tarsals are in your toes.
Now we've got an answer. We'll have to be quick because it's nearly we're not long to go, so we want to get a few more of these in.
We've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Can I announce the winner?
You can. Well, no, I'm not sure about a winner because you're not winning anything.
Did you know that the winner gets a kiss?
From whom?
Maybe if this particular person knew that they were going to get a kiss, they wouldn't have been first.
You might
to
get a
put the
kiss.
answer down.
You might get a kiss at the end of today's lesson from Miss Spelling. Miss Spelling. Sometimes she will give rewards to good students.
Somebody's come up with an interesting alternative to what I think could be the answer. Anyway, the first person to get both words correct, the first person to get any of the words correct and both of them
Oh,
was in fact Tomek.
Tomek again. Well done, Tomek.
So there's a kiss.
Ugh.
Sorry.
I'm sorry
But
about that.
that was the prize.
We
I
were,
did.
we were talking about STDs at the start of today's lesson. So, Tomek, you might want to go and get yourself tested, okay?
I've got everything, but a few people got that. But we've got an interesting alternative here. Now, if I can find it, yes, Sandra, which I think you were going to use the word badmouth.
Ah, yes.
Badmouth, not bodmouth, B-A-D. But is badmouth all one word?
Yes, and is it 8 letters?
M-O-U-T-H. It is.
Yes. So you can badmouth someone, and yes, it is. I think it can be like a compound. I think you can spell it as a compound word, or maybe you have to have a hyphen in the middle. I'm not quite sure. But yes, there was no need to, and here are the answers. We seem to have been doing this for ages. It's taken a long time to get to the answer, but here it is. There was no need to belittle. Yes, but badmouth. You can use that one as well. I think that's a very good one. Badmouth. You badmouth.
Well done, Sandra.
So belittle means criticise. You criticise. You criticise someone verbally, maybe in a very angry, loud way.
And make them feel silly and stupid.
There was no need to belittle me in front of the other employees. The employees, of course, are the people you work alongside. You work with the employees of a company.
You could be saying this to your manager or your boss after a meeting, because this sentence is in the past tense. There was no need to belittle me in front of the other employees. There could have been a meeting and your boss or your manager might have said, you've done very poorly with your sales this month. You're the worst out of all. What are you doing? Get your act together. And that would have made that person feel very insecure and very upset.
Small.
Belittled, made to feel less than they are.
As I understand, it is actually literally to make someone feel small.
Yes.
You belittle them is to give them the impression or to project the impression of being small and insignificant. You are making someone feel small and insignificant.
If you badmouth somebody, it means that you're insulting them.
It can be in the form of criticism or maybe just personal insults. Okay, Steve, we need another one. We've got to get at least 2.
So well done, well done. It's nice. I love it when we get alternatives.
Yes.
To what was your answer. It's nice when we get alternatives.
Yes, and sometimes by the wonders of the English language, you can actually have more than one suggestion. Here's another one, Steve. I would like to fit 2 in before we go. 2 more.
Okay.
Ah, interesting. So here's another one. We are looking at two letters. We are looking at T, the letter T, and also the letter P. There were some people, something, on our something last night.
There were some people, word beginning with T, it's a long word,
It is.
on our something beginning with P last night. There were some people...
Something on our something last night.
I have to use my fingers to count, like a child.
We have noticed.
There were some... Give us a clue, Mr. Duncan.
There were, well, you might wake up in the night. You might wake up in the night, you see, and perhaps you hear a strange groaning noise, or maybe a strange creaking noise, or perhaps you can hear some... Oh, let me just try it with the echo. Footsteps. Perhaps there are some footsteps outside. There were some people, something, on our something last night. You were woken up in the night by a sound, or maybe you looked out the window and you can see maybe a shadowy figure walking around, looking.
Ooh.
Do we have any correct answers yet?
Well, I think we've got at least one word that's correct.
Oh yes, I think we've got we have actually got two, but maybe not spelt correctly.
That's 8 words. That's 8 letters, not 7.
Have I got that wrong?
If that's the word you're thinking of, it's got 8 letters, not 7.
Oh yes, I think it has, hasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mr. Duncan can't count.
Yes, that's 8. The second one is 8.
The second word has got 8 letters.
I'm
not
ever so
7.
sorry about that. I don't know how
8.
that happened.
That's 8.
I think misspelling,
8.
misspelling will be punishing me later. I think she's going to have me bent over her desk, and she will be giving me 6 of the best.
The second word beginning with P is 8 letters. 8.
This has been a very strange one today. Sorry, the second one is 8.
8 letters.
Not
8.
7. 8. That looks like some sort of street gang.
5, 6, 7. 1. Yes. 8.
That looks like some sort of street gang sign. When you're walking along the street, you're going,
Maybe.
you're going. Yeah, are you in my gang? Yeah, I'm in your gang. I'm in the 8 gang. The 8 gang. We 8 people that aren't in our gang. That's why we're called the 8 gang, because we 8 people who are against us. What? Yes, I'm sorry about that. That's my fault. You are free to criticise me, call me all sorts of names, or even come round to the house and slap my face. You are more than... I deserve it. I deserve it. I think so. I really do.
Oh, look at that.
So who was first?
Copy or copy?
Hello, Copy. I want to say copy. I think it might be copy. Where are you, Copy?
Copy.
Copy. It's an interesting name.
But Beatrice has also got it right. So has Tomek.
Good. So here are the answers. I'm sorry I got the wrong number of letters there. Sometimes I can't count. I don't know what happens. Maybe I'm counting the wrong parts of my body.
Well, yes. Trespassing.
There were some people trespassing on our property last night.
There we go. 1 S followed by 2 S's.
There were some people trespassing on our property last night. If you trespass, what do you do?
It means you're going on private property when you're going somewhere where you shouldn't be going.
That's it. You are invading or going into a place where you should not be.
So people knew what it was, because most people have spelt trespassing with 2 S's, but Maduka, you were correct in only spelling it with 1 S, so was Beatrice, of course. Somebody had as the second word, pontoon.
Pontoon.
Yeah, so if a pontoon is like like a boat, isn't it?
Isn't a pontoon? Is it? Yes, I think it is a type of small boat.
So yes, if
I'm not-
you were on a pontoon and someone was walking on it, then yes.
No, I think a pontoon is not a boat. I think a pontoon is a stretch of something that you walk along,
Yes.
and it's over the water. A pontoon. I think it's like the side of a bay, where maybe the ships or boats will pull in. I think
It's something that floats on the water, isn't it?
Yes.
I think something that floats on the water.
Can I just say that my experience with boats is very little. So I'm not exactly a boat expert. You may have noticed. A bit like last week when I mentioned the Maldives last week when I should have said Mauritius, you see. But the Maldives were affected by that oil leak, but not very badly.
Mauritius, that's
But
right.
it was Mauritius that was badly affected.
That's right.
That's it. Okay.
Trespassing, go into a place where you should not be.
That's it.
You often see that sign, private property,
Yes.
no trespassing.
No trespassing.
But you don't see it as often as you used to, because to put that on a sign is quite aggressive.
Yes.
And somebody might think, don't tell me where I can't go, and they might just go in there anyway.
Trespassers will be shot.
Vitas says it's a ferry. Yes, a pontoon. It's something, I think, that floats on the water that you can carry people or things on. It might not be an actual boat. It might be just something that floats on the water.
Yes.
Yes, I think, yes. So you could have yes, you can put, they use a pontoon in the army,
Okay.
don't they, to get materials and tanks and all sorts of things like that across the water.
So
it's
is
something that can be easily constructed quickly.
Wait there, I could go one better. Is it like a raft that's connected to a rope?
I think it is. I think it's something like that. Yes.
I'm overjoyed.
Yes, the army use them a lot because they can be very quickly put together, and then you can put all your equipment on and your tanks and your guns and float them across the water to the
Yes.
other side.
It's a pontoon. It's something
Yes.
that floats. It's a bit like a raft.
Yes.
So
So,
I was
don't know whether you would trespass on a pontoon.
no, but you might use a pontoon to go into someone else's maybe an area of water that does not belong to you, or maybe you can sail your boat. Maybe you can go into someone else's waters. That's what always worried me, actually, about you know when you're on the sea
Yes.
and you're sailing your boat. How do you know when you've crossed into someone else's territory in the water? Are there little signposts in the water that say you are now entering American water, or you are now entering Chinese water? So how do you know? How do you know when you're rowing your boat that you're not going across into someone else's territory in the sea? Because there aren't any lines or anything. There aren't any signposts. So how do you know?
You have
see?
to know the latitude and longitude. You
Oh,
have to know
okay.
the coordinates
Yes.
that will be, in your ship's computer.
I'm starting to think that pontoon might have more than one meaning.
Yes, Tomek says an inflated raft. Yes, it could well be something that you inflate. I think it looks sort of flat, and you can sort of put all your equipment on.
Yes.
Armies use them a lot.
Yes. Of course, it's a game as well. You can play with cards. Pontoon.
Oh.
So you have to get 21.
Do you have to float your cards on the water?
I don't think so. Maybe if you lose, you might throw your cards into the water. Anyway, that's almost it. We've almost come to the end. We have run out of steam, as they say,
We have.
in the world of English. We have run out of steam. We are out of puff.
Guess what I'm going to be doing?
Steve is
a
going
few
to.
minutes.
Steve will be going into the kitchen. I hope you wash your hands first, because those hands have been all over the place today, outside.
That's true. They're covered
Yes.
in moss and all sorts of... No, I washed them when I came in,
Yes. See,
Mr.
we have
Duncan.
to.
So, yes. So
We have to remember we still have to wash our hands. Nothing's changed, you see there. Wash your hands, stay safe, wear your masks, And no kissing strangers, however sexy they might be. However beautiful they are, no kissing strangers, all right?
Thank you for your lovely wishes and your messages today. I've really enjoyed it today, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, it's been above average.
It's been lively,
Yes.
I would say. It's been lively.
If I had to judge today's live stream, I would say it's more than adequate.
Can you call my name, says, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Mers Sterling?
Shall I do it?
Mers Sterling?
I will do it with an echo.
Have we pronounced that correctly?
Hello, Mers Sterling.
The second word is definitely Sterling.
Sterling.
Not sure how to pronounce the first word. Mise Sterling?
Yes.
Mise Sterling?
It seems like a thing that we probably shouldn't concentrate too much time on.
No.
As we are coming towards the end.
Right. Okay. See you all next week. I'm going to make a cup of tea and a tea cake for Mr. Duncan and myself. And then I'm going to inspect all my work in the garden to see if it looks beautiful. Bye-bye.
See you later, Steve.
Are you fading me away? Or?
I am going to just push you unceremoniously out of the door. Say goodbye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, so professional. Thank you very much for your company today. I believe Miss Spelling, our new teacher who is joining us today, has one thing to say before we go. So finally, Miss Spelling, do you have something to say?
Mr. Duncan, aren't you worried that this might come across as sexist to your female viewers? We hope next week you will even it out with a hunky male teacher.
Well, you can always have me next week if you want. You could have me as your hunky male teacher. Why not? I think so. I will be back with you next week from 2 p.m. UK time. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Something interesting. I hope there is something in there for you to enjoy, and I hope it was useful as well. From Mr. Duncan, that's me, by the way, and also Mr. Steve. Thank you, Steve, for joining us today. Thank you very much also to Miss Spelling. Miss Spelling, would you like to say something before you go?
That is all from me for today. Kisses from Miss Spelling. Don't be late for my next class or I will have to punish you.
There's one thing I've noticed about Miss Spelling. She really does like giving out those punishments. See you later. Thank you very much for your company. I hope you've enjoyed it. We are now going to have a cup of tea and a tea cake. I will see you next Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, there might be a new lesson as well popping up during the week. Have you noticed? Last week I put a new lesson on my YouTube channel. And also next week we will do the same thing as well. I will put something new on my YouTube channel. And as I said, I will be with you next Sunday. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. Live from England. And of course, until the next time we meet here, stay safe, stay happy, wash your hands, wear that mask. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.